What's going on, everybody? It's your boy DJ Las Vegas for GTV News. There's a major shakeup in Canadian politics. Justin Trudeau is out, and the new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, is in. He promised Canadians change, but here's the big question everyone is asking. Is this change just a copy-paste of the biggest rivals' ideas? Today, we're breaking down 5 key policy areas where the new Liberal government looks suspiciously like the Conservative opposition, led by Pierre Poilievre. Is this political piracy or a brilliant strategy to win over the country? Let's get into it, man. First up, crime. For years, the Conservatives have hammered the government with a simple, powerful slogan: jail, not bail. They argued that the Liberal laws like Bill C-75 were creating a catch-and-release system, putting repeat violent offenders back on the streets. Their solution? A proposed Jail, Not Bail Act. That would make it much harder for people accused of serious crimes to get released while awaiting trial. The key mechanism they propose is called reversed onus. Normally, the prosecution has to prove why an accused person should be kept in jail. Reverse onus flips the script. The accused has to prove why they can safely be released. So what did Prime Minister Carney do just weeks into the job? He announced a new bill to get tough on crime. And the centerpiece? You guessed it. The Carney government is bringing in reverse onus bail for major crimes like violent auto theft and human trafficking. They're promising tougher consecutive sentences and are hiring 1,000 new RCMP officers. They're even undoing parts of the old laws the Conservatives hated. So case closed, right? The Liberals stole the Conservative plan. Well, not quite. There's a huge difference under the hood. Poilievre suggested he'd be willing to use the notwithstanding clause to override the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, while Carney explicitly says his law is designed to be charter-proof and consistent with Constitution. This is a classic political move. The Liberals have adopted the tough-on-crime look of the Conservative policy to neutralize it as a political weapon, but they've re-engineered it to avoid a massive court battle. Verdict: the Conservatives definitely set the agenda here, but the Liberals are shaping the final product. Okay, let's talk about money. No policy has been more diverse than the carbon tax. The Conservative message has been crystal clear for years: axe the tax. They argued it was making gas, groceries, and heating more expensive for everyday Canadians. One of the very first things the new Carney government did? They canceled the consumer carbon tax. Wait, what? The Liberals, the party that brought in the carbon tax, just axed it? Yes, but, and this is a big but, they only axed the part you see at the pump and on your heating bill. They kept and even plan to enhance the carbon price for large industrial polluters. The Conservatives are calling this a shadow carbon tax, arguing that those companies will just pass the cost on to you anyways, but now you won't get a rebate check. The Liberals say they're shifting from a stick to a carrot approach, targeting the biggest polluters while easing the burden on families. And it doesn't stop there. The Conservatives proposed a big bring-it-home income tax cut, lowering the rate on the first income bracket from 15% to 12.75%. The Carney government, they also cut taxes on the exact same bracket, but only from 15% to 14%. See the pattern? On both files, the Liberals adopted the Conservative premise that direct taxes are politically toxic right now, but in both cases, their vision is more moderate. Verdict? The Conservatives forced the government's hand on affordability, but the Liberals are writing the final check, and it's for a smaller amount. Now let's head up north. to the Arctic. With Russia and China showing more interest in the region, both parties agree Canada needs to step up its game, but how they plan to do it shows two different ways of thinking. The Conservatives have a Canada First plan focused on hard power, building a new permanent military base, buying 2 new heavy icebreakers for the Navy, and doubling the Canadian Rangers. It's all about a bigger Canadian physical footprint. The Carney government's plan is more about technology and teamwork. Their big ticket item is a $6 billion investment with Australia to develop a new long-range radar system. They're also focused on building a security partnership with our Nordic allies. It's the same story with the federal bureaucracy. The Conservatives want to shrink it with a rigid rule, only replace 2 out of the 3 employees who leave. The Liberals also want to cap the public service, but through a more flexible approach of natural attrition, which has unions accusing them of hiding the real cuts. Verdict: here, the ideas aren't being copied directly. It's more like both parties are looking at the same problems, Arctic security and government spending, but coming up with very different solutions that reflect their core beliefs. So what does this all mean? Well, we're seeing a clear strategy emerge from the new Prime Minister, something you can call the Carney Doctrine. One is to identify, find the issues where the opposition is winning. 2, adopt. Take the core of their popular solution. And 3, adapt. Reshape it to fit a more centrist, legally cautious, liberal framework. So who gets the credit? I mean, Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives can absolutely claim they set the national agenda on crime and affordability. They forced the government to act. But the Carney government is the one writing the laws, and they're making sure those laws have a distinct liberal stamp. This has huge implications. It forces the Conservatives to find new lines of attack, because how do you fight a government that's adopted your best ideas? And for the Liberals, it signals a massive pivot to the political center, trying to build a bigger tent to win the next election. The policy gap between the 2 main parties is shrinking. The question for voters might not be what to do anymore, but who you trust to do it. What do you think? Is this a smart strategy by Mark Carney, or is he just taking credit for conservative ideas? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns on news for Canada and around the world. Thanks for watching. It's your boy Vegas. Peace.